Japan, a nation of power, discipline, and innovation. But step beyond the neon-lit streets, and you'll see a reality few dare to acknowledge. On the sidewalks, men and women sleep under thin blankets, battling the bitter cold. Tents crowd street corners, makeshift homes for those society has forgotten. Beneath towering skyscrapers, people wash themselves in public fountains, stripped of dignity, forced to survive. The government says homelessness is under control. But the truth? It's exploding in ways no one wants to see. How did this crisis reach such extremes? Why do thousands disappear into the shadows of society? And most chilling, what happens when a country refuses to acknowledge its suffering? Brace yourself. This is the reality Japan doesn't want the world to see. Welcome to Globe Path Travel Documentary Japan. The land of technological marvels, rich traditions, and breathtaking landscapes. But beyond the bustling streets and dazzling lights lies a stark reality few talk about. Tents line the sidewalks. Silent figures rest on thin sheets of cardboard beneath towering skyscrapers. In the shadows of prosperity, thousands struggle for survival, ignored by society. Tonight, we uncover Japan's hidden crisis, where homelessness is not just a statistic, but a harsh truth unfolding in real time. How did a nation known for its discipline and innovation let so many disappear into the margins? And what does this say about the future of urban survival? Stay with us as Globe Path takes you deep into the streets of Japan to witness the truth beyond the illusion. The current landscape of homelessness in Japan. 2025 Japan, a nation celebrated for its technological advancements and disciplined society, hides a growing crisis beneath its polished exterior. Official reports from the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare claim that only 2,820 individuals are homeless as of January 2024. However, experts argue that this number is far from reality. The true figure could be between 100,000 and 200,000, as thousands remain trapped in hidden homelessness, unseen by the public eye. Unlike in Western countries, where homelessness is often visible, encampments under bridges, people sleeping in parks, Japan's homeless population is largely out of sight. Many individuals avoid sleeping on the streets, instead seeking refuge in internet cafés, capsule hotels, and temporary accommodations, making them invisible to official counts. Despite efforts to keep homelessness hidden, the streets of Tokyo, Osaka, and other major cities reveal the truth. Tents line sidewalks, makeshift homes for those abandoned by the system. Cardboard beds appear under bridges, where people huddle against the cold. Public fountains become places for washing, as access to hygiene is nearly impossible. These scenes contrast sharply with Japan's image of prosperity, exposing the harsh reality that many refuse to acknowledge. The crisis is fueled by economic downturns, rigid employment structures, and a deep-rooted stigma surrounding poverty, preventing individuals from seeking help. Japan's homelessness crisis is not just about poverty, it's about systemic failure. Economic downturns have left thousands jobless, especially older men who lost their careers during the lost decades following the economic bubble burst in the 1990s. Mental health stigma prevents individuals from seeking help, forcing them into isolation. Rigid employment structures make it nearly impossible for those who fall behind to re-enter the workforce. The government may report low numbers, but the reality is far more devastating. As thousands struggle in the shadows, the question remains: how long can Japan ignore its invisible homeless before the crisis erupts into full view? Causes of homelessness in Japan. Japan's homelessness crisis is deeply rooted in economic and social factors that have evolved over decades. One of the most significant turning points was the collapse of Japan's economic bubble in the 1990s, which led to widespread job losses, particularly among middle-aged men. During the late 1980s, Japan experienced rapid economic growth, fueled by speculative investments in real estate and stock markets. However, when the bubble burst in the early 1990s, asset prices plummeted and businesses faced massive financial losses. The Nikkei 225 stock index, which had peaked at nearly 39,000 in 1989, crashed by over 60%, wiping out wealth and triggering a severe recession. Many companies downsized or shut down entirely, leaving thousands unemployed. The effects of this downturn lingered for years, creating a generation of workers who struggled to regain financial stability. Corporate restructuring further exacerbated the crisis. As Japan's economy stagnated, companies adopted aggressive cost-cutting measures, including mass layoffs and reduced hiring. The traditional lifetime employment system, once a cornerstone of Japanese corporate culture, began to erode. Many workers who had spent decades in stable jobs suddenly found themselves unemployed, with limited opportunities to re-enter the workforce. Older workers, in particular, faced discrimination, as companies preferred hiring younger employees with lower salary expectations. This restructuring created a permanent underclass of individuals who could not secure stable employment, pushing many into homelessness. Beyond economic factors, mental health stigma plays a significant role in Japan's homelessness crisis. Unlike in Western countries, where mental health issues are openly discussed, Japan's cultural emphasis on self-reliance and perseverance discourages individuals from seeking help. Many homeless individuals suffer from depression, anxiety, or untreated psychiatric conditions, but fear being judged if they seek medical assistance. The lack of accessible mental health services further isolates them, making recovery nearly impossible. Instead of receiving support, many are left to fend for themselves, leading to chronic homelessness. Another critical factor is the lack of affordable housing. Japan's urban centers, particularly Tokyo and Osaka, have some of the highest living costs in the world. Rent prices continue to rise, making it difficult for low-income individuals to secure stable housing. Many people resort to living in internet cafés, capsule hotels, or overcrowded shared apartments, unable to afford proper accommodations. The government has introduced temporary housing programs, but these initiatives often fail to address the root causes of homelessness. Without long-term solutions, thousands remain trapped in precarious living situations, unable to escape the cycle of poverty. Japan's homelessness crisis is not just a result of poverty. It is a systemic failure that has been decades in the making. Economic downturns, corporate restructuring, mental health stigma, and unaffordable housing have all contributed to a growing population of invisible homeless, hidden from official statistics but struggling to survive. As the crisis deepens, the question remains: how long can Japan ignore its most vulnerable citizens before the problem spirals out of control? Impacts of homelessness. Homelessness is more than just a lack of shelter. It is a deeply isolating, physically damaging, and economically draining crisis that affects individuals and society in profound ways. The impacts stretch far beyond the visible struggles, creating long-term consequences that are often overlooked. Social isolation is one of the most devastating effects of homelessness. Many homeless individuals avoid public spaces due to shame, stigma, and fear of judgment. In societies like Japan, where self-reliance is highly valued, admitting to homelessness can feel like a personal failure, leading many to withdraw completely. Studies show that social isolation and loneliness among homeless individuals can reach up to 90%, making it one of the most severe public health challenges. Without a support system, many fall into depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts, further trapping them in a cycle of despair. The lack of community networks and meaningful relationships makes reintegration into society incredibly difficult. The health risks associated with homelessness are staggering. Homeless individuals face limited access to health care, leading to untreated illnesses, chronic conditions, and severe mental health struggles. A study found that 41% of homeless people suffer from long-term physical health problems, while 45% have diagnosed mental health conditions, far higher than the general population. Exposure to extreme weather, malnutrition, and unsanitary living conditions further deteriorate their health. Many rely on emergency medical services, which only provide temporary relief rather than long-term care. The longer someone remains homeless, the more their health declines, making recovery nearly impossible without intervention. The economic consequences of homelessness ripple through society. Homelessness reduces productivity, as individuals without stable housing struggle to find and maintain employment. Many jobs require a permanent address, making it nearly impossible for homeless individuals to secure work. Additionally, homelessness increases reliance on social welfare programs, straining government resources. Studies show that homeless individuals are more likely to require emergency health care, legal aid, and social services, leading to higher public spending. The cycle of poverty deepens, making it harder for individuals to escape homelessness and reintegrate into the workforce. Homelessness is not just a personal struggle. It is a systemic failure that affects mental health, physical well-being, and economic stability. Without intervention, the crisis will continue to grow, leaving thousands trapped in invisible suffering. The question remains, how long can society ignore the devastating impacts of homelessness before it demands real change? Solutions to homelessness. Japan's approach to homelessness is shaped by a combination of government policies, nonprofit efforts, and evolving strategies aimed at addressing the crisis. However, many of these solutions focus on self-reliance rather than direct aid, making it difficult for individuals to escape homelessness permanently. The Japanese government has implemented several initiatives to support homeless individuals, but these programs often emphasize reintegration into society through employment rather than providing immediate housing. The law concerning special measures to support the self-reliance of the homeless, enacted in 2002, was designed to help homeless individuals find work and transition back into stable living conditions. However, critics argue that this approach fails to address the root causes of homelessness, such as mental health struggles and economic instability. Government-run shelters exist, but they are often temporary solutions requiring individuals to leave after a set period. Many homeless individuals avoid these shelters due to strict rules, overcrowding, and the stigma associated with seeking government assistance. Nonprofit organizations play a critical role in providing direct aid to homeless individuals. Advocacy groups and religious organizations, particularly in cities like Osaka and Yokohama, offer food, shelter, and employment assistance to those in need. Many of these groups operate mobile food distribution programs, ensuring that homeless individuals receive regular meals. Some organizations also provide job training and counseling, helping individuals regain financial stability. Unlike government programs, nonprofit efforts tend to be more flexible and accessible, allowing homeless individuals to receive support without bureaucratic barriers. However, due to limited funding and resources, these organizations struggle to meet the growing demand for assistance. One of the most promising solutions to homelessness is the Housing First approach, a model widely used in Western countries such as Finland and the United States. This strategy prioritizes providing stable housing before addressing employment or mental health issues. ensuring that individuals have a secure place to live while they work toward reintegration. Studies show that housing-first programs significantly reduce chronic homelessness, as individuals are more likely to find jobs and seek medical care when they have a stable living environment. While Japan has experimented with similar models, the government remains hesitant to fully adopt this approach, fearing that it may encourage dependency on welfare programs. Despite ongoing efforts, Japan's homelessness crisis remains largely hidden, with thousands struggling in internet cafés, capsule hotels, and temporary shelters. Without long-term solutions that prioritize housing stability and mental health support, the problem will continue to grow. The question remains, will Japan embrace modern strategies to combat homelessness, or will it continue relying on outdated policies that fail to address the crisis? Additional insights and developments. Japan's homelessness crisis extends far beyond the visible struggles of those living on the streets. It is deeply embedded in hidden homelessness, where thousands survive in unconventional dwellings, unseen by society. One of the most striking examples of this phenomenon is the rise of net cafe refugees, individuals who rely on 24-hour internet cafes as their primary living space. An estimated 15,000 people stay in internet cafes daily, with around 4,000 classified as homeless. These cafes, originally designed for short-term use, have evolved into makeshift shelters, offering small cubicles, reclining chairs, and access to showers. Many of these individuals work low-paying, unstable jobs, earning just enough to afford a night in a cafe, but never enough to secure permanent housing. The high cost of renting an apartment, combined with strict leasing requirements, makes traditional housing unattainable for many. Some net cafe refugees have been living in these spaces for years, trapped in a cycle of financial instability. Beyond net cafe refugees, hidden homelessness manifests in other unconventional living arrangements. Some individuals rent capsule hotel pods, which provide minimal space but serve as temporary shelter. Others live in overcrowded, poorly maintained apartments, often sharing a single room with multiple strangers. These forms of homelessness are not officially recognized, meaning they are rarely included in government statistics. The true scale of Japan's homelessness crisis remains unknown, as many affected individuals avoid seeking help due to deep-rooted cultural stigma. Japan's cultural emphasis on politeness and shame plays a significant role in preventing homeless individuals from accessing support. In Japanese society, self-reliance is highly valued, and admitting to financial struggles is often seen as a personal failure. Many homeless individuals avoid shelters and aid programs, fearing judgment from others. This stigma forces them into isolation, making recovery even more difficult. Unlike in Western countries where homelessness is often openly discussed, Japan's approach tends to push the issue out of sight, further exacerbating the crisis. Despite these challenges, some nonprofit organizations and local initiatives are working to address hidden homelessness. Advocacy groups provide food, employment assistance, and temporary housing, but their resources remain limited. Without systemic change, Japan's homeless population will continue to grow, trapped in a cycle of invisibility and neglect. Social stories are structured narratives designed to help individuals, particularly those with autism, understand social situations and appropriate behaviors. They were developed by Carol Gray in 1990 and are widely used in behavioral therapy and education to teach social norms, expectations, and coping strategies. These stories are typically short, simple, and personalized, using clear language and visuals to explain specific scenarios. They cover topics such as making eye contact, taking turns, handling emotions, and interacting with peers. Social stories can be used in schools, therapy sessions, and home environments to support individuals in navigating daily interactions. Japan's homelessness crisis is not just a problem of statistics. It is a hidden epidemic unfolding beneath the surface of society. While official reports suggest only 2,820 individuals are homeless, the reality is far more devastating, with estimates reaching 200,000 people forced into precarious living conditions. From net café refugees and capsule hotel dwellers to those surviving in tent cities on the streets, Japan's homeless population has been pushed into the shadows, ignored by both policymakers and the public. The crisis is fueled by economic instability, corporate restructuring, mental health stigma, and a lack of affordable housing, leaving thousands trapped in a cycle of invisibility and neglect. Despite government initiatives, nonprofit efforts, and proposed housing-first solutions, the response remains insufficient, failing to address the deeper causes of homelessness. Social isolation, severe health risks, and economic consequence continue to worsen the situation, turning homelessness into a systemic failure rather than an individual struggle. Japan's cultural emphasis on shame and self-reliance prevents many from seeking help, reinforcing the silence surrounding this crisis. As the world moves forward, the question remains: how long can Japan ignore the growing homelessness crisis before it reaches a breaking point? If real change does not come soon, this hidden epidemic will only continue to expand, turning invisibility into an undeniable reality. If this documentary opened your eyes and you believe these untold truths deserve to be seen, then subscribe to Globe Path now. This isn't just a video, it's a mission, a voice for those who have been erased by the system. Every subscribe is a step toward exposing reality. Every like is a sign of support for the forgotten. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an important story. We uncover the truths that others won't. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next shocking exposé.